Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I'm picking up on someone here, and this person is really sad. They're very sullen, very withdrawn. I feel like for some, like they might even be depressed. And I think they're silent here at this current time. And I think that's regarding you. For some of these people, they may be silent in other areas of their life as well, just more silent, more withdrawn. I feel like this person that I'm picking up on usually is pretty happy, pretty jovial, especially socializing or like in a group. And I feel like they're still putting on that brave face. They still could be showing up to kind of like social events, but internally, I think they'd much rather be alone. They are feeling sad. They are feeling depressed. It's like they're putting a brave face on it. They're actually doing a lot of processing behind the scenes. But I do think this silence has to do with you. So it's like this person may not be saying anything to you. That could be because you have left this person behind and possibly like an arena or like a group that they were a part of. So like you're not speaking to this person. I think this person wants there to be like a relationship here, but they're also not ready to speak. But them not speaking to you, I think has to do with, I just heard like dejection, but also like shame. This person feels ashamed for their role in something and possibly for their role in you leaving or a way that you were treated. And I'm not sure that for all of these people, they were directly involved. Some of them, I think like they could have been. Again, this person kind of has this, I'm fun and I'm like social in a group. And so they might have just like kind of sat there while you were being like bullied and roasted and like treated a certain way. Because this person likes to be involved. You know, this person just likes to have friends. As long as they've got a place that they're going on a Saturday night, they, don't really mind. But I think this person was internally actually very triggered watching the way that you were treated. So like I said, I'm not sure that this person was directly involved. If they were directly involved, I think that something here has changed in them. It's like night and day. And it may well be their personality, but I think it might be like their life circumstances where they were going through a phase of life before where again, it was like this kind of sun energy where it was like, I'm just happy to be involved. Again, like as long as I have a place to go on a Friday night, it's like highly distracting for this person. They didn't want to think too deeply about stuff. So something here like that. But now I feel like maybe they're spending more time at home. It's like a less public part of their soul's journey here. And something here is like, is catching up with them because I feel like this is a person who, in the name of socializing and in the name of something about this sun energy, like the way that they express or come across in a group, this is somebody who pushed down a lot, like really repressed a lot. And so something here is like kind of coming to the surface. And I feel like this person may have had a tower moment that led to that. And it could have had to do with their life circumstances, like maybe an illness or like this person lost their job or something that took them from like that public life where they were socializing all the time to a private life, where they're spending more time alone and with their thoughts and the things that they try to repress, suppress, deny, not really look at, not really think about too deeply, which somehow like has to do with you. It's kind of like finally caught up to them. So I feel like this person is feeling very emotional. Actually, they're doing a lot of processing and a lot of thinking. And I just feel that spirit and like the universe is kind of, this person is being made to deal with this now. They can't outrun it anymore. It's like kind of not. And this feels like to do with you, but it feels like a broader pattern that this person needs to like really look at and confront. And part of that is just like looking at what motivates them, looking at how like their mind works, and especially in regards to emotions. And somehow like you and their treatment of you like comes up for this person because like I said, even if this person wasn't directly involved, it's like this person knew about something. And I think they knew. This seems to have to do with a group, and it has to do with gossip, and it has to do like with the way that you were treated. And this person felt like kind of, I don't know, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Again, I don't think that they really thought about it like too deeply, but they knew that there was a way that this group was talking about you and treating you to your face. And that way was like cups. They were acting like that they had cups energy to give you, very loving energy, very social, cooperative, that they were good people with a good intention and, a good nature to them. And then as soon as you would turn your back and kind of walk away, I feel like the conversation would switch. And I think this person is realizing it's because there's something about you that like triggered these people. And I think they're having to face and confront and realize that they themselves were actually triggered, like on the inside. This is somebody who's having to kind of face and realize that they don't express their authentic self, and especially not their authentic emotions. Like what they're genuinely feeling on the inside, they don't express it on the outside. And it feels like this is cyclical. And I feel like this is what spirit is saying to this person. There's a cycle and it's held in place, and you need to start picking apart how it's held in place. And so a big part of why it's held in place is that this person is around very toxic people. And you, I think, were meant to show them that just by the way that you were being treated. Because I feel like I just heard you were really beautiful. And I feel like that's kind of on the inside and on the outside. Like this person could tell that you were an innocent and that you didn't deserve this kind of treatment. There's nothing that you could have done that would have changed the way that this group was viewing you, talking about you, treating you, because ultimately it was not rooted in reality. It was rooted in their own mind, like, and them being triggered and wanting, like, and I think it was because this person, like, so whatever this person, because I don't know, some of these people, maybe multiple people in this group are having this realization, but they're having it privately. I wouldn't hold my breath though, but whoever this is, whether they had a direct role in this or it was just more something that they were kind of didn't really partake in, but they were peripherally aware of it. I think this person's having to realize like the way that those people viewed you and reflected you, like in that terrible conversation that they overheard or whatever, is because they were triggered internally and emotionally. These were people that were triggered. They had internal shame. They, about something to do with their expression, because I think I'm looking at two cards here where it's not necessarily power cards, but you're dressed in red both times. And I think it was like your own power, your inner power, that these people could see. And I don't think that you actually did see it at the time. I think that you were seen as somebody, I don't know, powerful or beautiful or creative or, attention grabbing or something. And it triggered these people. And that's why you received this negative treatment. And that has something to do with this person and holding them in place and manufacturing more shame, because this person's not proud of the way that they act. Karma means action. They're not proud of the way that they behave. And they feel that it doesn't actually reflect the way that they feel on the inside. And this is a big problem for this soul, and maybe a major aspect of why they're here, like in the earth realm, and why they incarnated the way that they did, why they were in this situation. This might be a pattern that repeats for this person, where they get around these toxic people and they're shown that these people are toxic. They're shown that these people are two-faced and that they're one way to your face, and it makes this person scared. And so it actually keeps this person from expressing, when I actually think that this person is more like you. I don't think that they can kind of see that. This group doing this in front of this person is kind of their own version of terrorizing them. Because I do think this group kind of sees that this person is more like you. I'm seeing them kind of the same, like wearing red, like you're wearing red, like they have a kind of power. This person, if they were to express themselves, they would kind of have authority here, but they're scared that, and that's what this person's realizing is something in the past about like why they did what they did or they sat back or whatever. It's because they were pinched between two fears. And, I think this person's facing that they're actually very motivated by fear, and that their personality, this is also, I remember having this like shock for myself, but I think this person's like, oh yeah, my bright, bubbly personality is not authentic to who I am. I'm not actually a bright, bubbly person. That's all motivated by fear. If I was not afraid of these people, I could have more depth to my personality. I could express other emotions besides just happiness. I could be real. I could be angry and it would be safe. I could express a strong opinion and have people disagree with me and it wouldn't be a problem, and so they're kind of realizing like, this is a charade, because I think this person kind of tells themselves, well, I'm just the happy, fun person. I just want to kind of stay out of it. And as a recovering happy, fun person, nobody's the happy, fun person all the time. You are a rich human being. You have a lot of different emotions. That is a trauma response. And I feel like, or it's a fear response. And that's what this person's kind of processing and realizing. They can't like open up and like kind of speak about this yet. It comes from like, I think they're using the word cowardice. Hashtag can relate. But I think it's like genuine fear. It's like, it's hard to stand up to these people and this like negative group. And, so they were pinched between two fears. One is like this group that on the one hand they view as nice, but also kind of volatile. It's this like walking on eggshells kind of thing. And you and I, like having distance from this, it's like, who in their right mind would want to be around a group like that? You have to leave. And I think maybe you did, like you were like, yeah, I can't, but I feel like you didn't really fully have the truth about this group. I think there may have been some tower moments here, some things that kind of got through and you didn't know if something was real or fake, but you just kind of felt, right? And so you left. And this person knows a lot more than you do. They know for a damn fact that this is a toxic group. They know for a damn fact that all these people are two-faced and proud of it, that they don't seem to have any shame at all about being one way to your face and then being another way behind your back. This is so they're two-faced too. So this person's kind of not like this group. Everybody on that side of things is two-faced, but these people seem to express no shame or remorse. They view it as a position of power. They think it's hilarious. They're a pack of hyenas. This person actually does feel shame. They wish that they could be brave. And I think that maybe this person admires you and they admire you walking away. Now, the other fear that they were pinched against is some type of authority. And so maybe this person felt that if they revealed the truth, that an authority was going to come in. If in their right mind, an authority would come in and squash this group or put the kibosh on it, which maybe should happen, by the way. And then this person would get blamed or something. Or like for some, you are an authority, or you had this latent power and people are scared of it. And you shouldn't be scared of it. Maybe you were taught subconsciously to be scared of it, but you have this kind of like latent power, and this person was scared of like you rising up into that power and what you would say to them, or if you would get another authority involved or something. So this person was like very pinched between, and all of this, by the way, is a very subconscious exploration of psychology and what motivates people, like human behavior. This is a person who just learning about psychology would like go pretty far in their own healing journey. Like just kind of trying to understand, well, why do I do this? Well, this person's very motivated by fear, and they have like a lot of buried shame. And they're surrounded by other people who this person's kind of learning about the shadow self, and that it's really like the driver. And this person senses it. They don't want to look at it directly because it's like the monster under the bed. They don't want to look at these people directly and admit to themselves that these are unhealed people they pretend to be nice, but they're really actually driven by fear, and they're driven by, I don't know, fear, shame, unworthiness, something like that. Fantasy, I'm not sure. And that's what this person's actually scared of. That's the thing that like makes them kind of unreasonable. I just saw someone in a straitjacket. Like this person kind of feels like even though they know that it's the right thing to do, and if they were to express that, this group is not built on like being reasonable and being like, truthful. You couldn't just speak, and to me, that is classic, like ego is involved, ego defense mechanisms. You cannot speak the truth to the ego. It doesn't want to hear it. And it's so fervently trying to like defend itself, because this person, if they know that if they start reflecting back to this group, like, hey, y'all you're a piece of shit, basically. Like, I don't know how you sleep at night, but I don't, that this group is going to feel called out by that. And they should feel called out by that, but they won't allow that healing energy to occur. Because there's like the ganging up. This is a cult culture, like that they don't want to feel called out. So, and I do feel like this group was trying to put some type of pressure in you. They were trying to kind of corral you on some kind of level by not telling you the truth. They were trying to keep you in a position that was small or fearful, and like maybe even like psychologically, emotionally tormented, or in a way where they could kind of taunt something powerful, because they can sense your power. But if this is so like this is like the group of hyenas next to like a lion, like that's what this basically is. And this person knows it, senses it, and they want to tell you that they're sorry, but they also know that they've given you some type of issue here. Like, you don't know what's real, you don't know what's fake. There also could have been like an issue here about commitment. So for some of you, maybe this person was afraid of commitment. I also feel like for some of you, whoever this person is may not have told you the way that they feel about you. Part of the way that they feel. So it could be that this person had feelings for you of some type, or they really actually wanted to be your friend, but you were kind of separated out from this group, which, by the way, good job. That's part of what they like about you, actually. I feel like that's buried and that's repressed, but you keep your distance from this group that is toxic. And so definitionally, like, it's because you don't vibe over there. You're a nice person, but like you kind of keep yourself a bit separate from this group. And this person wanted to reach out to you. They wanted to hang out with you. If this is a friend, it also could be this person had romantic feelings for you, but they didn't feel like good enough or worthy enough. And also part of what the feelings that this person did not express and feels shame maybe of not expressing is that they felt triggered. Being in this group, watching this group be the way they were, and possibly like not saying anything. Like this person actually felt really triggered. There also could have been like a group chat or something here. And this was, I think they're realizing now, like an alarm bell kind of going off. This was like a tower moment of like, you are around toxic people. Why do you want to be around these people? Who gives a shit if people like this like you or not? Yeah, they're dangerous, but you can leave in a way that is like, oh, I got a better opportunity over here. You can just kind of fall off with people. You don't have to confront people. You're choosing to be around this, you know? And so I think this person wants to tell you that they did not like seeing the way that you were treated. I don't think they really stopped to think about it too deeply. They didn't want to, because if they thought about it too deeply, then they would have to confront it. And if they didn't confront it, then they would start to hate themselves and feel shame. And all the things that are bubbling up now would have bubbled up in the moment. You know, oh, well, you're just afraid. You're a coward. You know, you don't want, and they would have actually had to deal with it in the moment. It crunched this person. Something about the way that you were treated, it crunched this person, and it was like a real wake-up call. And so I feel like this person didn't do anything in the moment, and then I feel like you left or they ran you off. And by the way, this has like karmic effect, because there's like a neediness that this is a very needy group of people. I don't care how they present, like they got a lot of things going on beneath the surface. And I think karmically they reap what they sow here with you, because it's like you're meant to be a sheltering tree of some kind. I don't know how that is. Like you're meant to put your roots down. If these people run you off and you put your roots down somewhere else, it's like the stability that they've always needed, but they're going to become more and more aware that they need. You're not going to be there, and they're going to be left high and dry. So I don't know if that's in a social sense, where like some things are going to happen and they're actually going to need like genuine real friends, because ain't a person in this group a real fucking friend. Okay. So they're going to need some actual real friends. I just heard that song by Camila Cabello. I'm just looking for some real friends. Yeah, that's all I really got. I'm just looking for some real friends. Where's everybody hiding out? Because this isn't really, I feel like this is a group that kind of built themselves off of like othering, you know, like they just made fun of you, or maybe they make fun of other people or something like that, you know? And, it's not really built on anything. It also could be though, for some of you, that you've got like, you were going to start a business, or and it was going to employ people and, or like this, you were meant to grow up and be like, you know, you were meant to flower into like a manager or a leader. And then you would have always kept the door open for these people. You would always have been that sheltering tree. And I think that in some way they're going to go without. Maybe that's something here that is happening now. But yeah, I feel like this person, it might have been like a real tower moment, you walking away. Maybe this person thought that you never would, because I also think that there's something here about like, they knew that this group was toxic, and they knew that their own behavior was toxic. Again, I just feel this person not wanting to look, because they would have to confront and they would have to act, or they would just continue to hate themselves more. And so they thought that you would never leave, because they thought that you would never find out. Truly, they thought that you would never find out. And they admire, I've got a card here that says lessons learned, wisdom gained, completing cycles, growth through experience. I'm wiser now. You being wiser is like you leaving this group. And so they really admire that. And I actually feel like this is a calling for this person. This is a wake up call. Spirit, I just saw spirit. So you left, and it feels like you completed a cycle. And then at the moment, I'm watching this person like watch you walk away. And then all of a sudden I heard a really loud alarm clock. Ring, a ring, a ring, a ring, a ring. You know, like it's kind of like a mixture of a telephone, but also that. And that's spirit calling. Your turn, bitch. Wake up, bitch. Like, we are leaving this group one at a time. Healthiest people first. It's your turn. You ready? Like, it feels like that you saw the path out, right? You got the path out, right? And so this person, and I feel like losing you was like a big lesson learned, that they really cannot tolerate being around toxic people, because you lose the good people. And also I've got a card here that says energy vampires, draining connections, toxic influence, protect your energy, time to cut the cords. That's the wake up call here. And that's what this person was like trying not to face, is that it's time to give up on toxic people. It is so dire, actually, that you identify toxic people and do not like hang out with them. Don't feed into that. And then like triggered emotional reactions, unresolved wounds, facing past hurts. Why does this bother me? I think for some of you, it's like they were watching it, and I think they were watching you like suffer or something, or not know something, or be like restricted in some way. And they were supposed to ask themselves like, why does this bother me? And now they can see like, why does this bother me? But they also see that you've like flourished in the power that they always knew was there. That's why it bothers them. While they're around hyenas that really love to take a beautiful thing or a good thing or a powerful thing and torture it. And that's like what gives them a sense of like power. It's like a sadism that they've like nurtured in themselves when they're hurting other beings. This person doesn't have that. That's why it bothers them. I just heard one of these things is not like the others. That's what they're supposed to realize. One of these things is not like the others. What are you doing over here in this like shit pile, you know? And yeah, so something here was like kind of trying to wake them up. So now we've also got this energy of the Two of Wands, and the card beneath it says photoshopped, faked perfection, artificial beauty, unrealistic standards, filtered beyond recognition. So I think maybe this person is feeling like they had done that to themselves, like in their countenance. You know, they've been filtering their existence. I also think that's what this toxic group taught them to do. Taught them that they need to filter out, like they always have to put the brave face on it. But actually on the inside, this person feels really sad, or they feel really tired, or they feel really worn down because they're around people. This is what you know. They're around people that don't give back. They don't fill their cup. They don't inspire this person. They're takers, and they don't. This is a group that I think maybe they made fun of you because you were naturally gaining in recognition, or you were clearly going places, and this group felt some type of way about that. But I think this person can clearly see and is supposed to reflect back to these people, you're not fit for a leadership position. You don't work on yourself. They just feel entitled. This is a group that just feels entitled. And they just like to put other people down as a means. They want to grow tall by cutting off the heads of others, by like skullduggery is what I want to say. And this person was like, just like photoshopped. But I feel like you were kind of the same way, because you were like, I'm hearing from Ted Lasso, where it's like, just wait till we win him over. You know, like, I think that's kind of you. You're like, well, if I could just keep giving benevolent energy. But you learned with this toxic group that you shouldn't do that. Wait till we win him over. You just keep giving your positive energy. Some people, you got to say, you know what? You're a black hole. You know, I could keep giving until the cows come home, and it's never going to change you. They're just leeching off your energy in that way and making fun of you maybe in the process. So this person's following that same trajectory. They're going to be next is kind of like what I'm getting. Because they could, and they were gifted the ability to see that it didn't matter how beautiful you were. It didn't matter how kind you were. Nothing about you was interpreted in good faith. They didn't try to look at something from your side of things or explore what it must have felt like, or understand that you were correct about even certain things, even if you weren't right about everything. They couldn't admit where you were, which I think was actually, I just heard prescient. You're quite prescient and like precious. So this person's going to basically be next, and they're going to be confused about it, because they're going to be, and maybe this has already happened, where they've been gossiped about or talked about, you know? Yeah. So, but it also could be that this person like partnered with somebody or built a life that seems like they're stunting for the gram, you know, like, oh, my life is picture perfect, but it's fake. Look, this question of like real and fake keeps coming up, and it's on the card that says commitment issues, real and fake. This person wants to say sorry because they know that they gave you commitment issues, or maybe that they had commitment issues. And this group is so shitty. Sometimes people like shitty groups because they don't get held accountable. They don't get called out. When they're around healthier people, then they get called out. Even if it's not directly with their words, it's like, well, all these people are being healthy and they're getting the fruits of being healthy, you know? So, real or fake, real or fake. So this person just feels like they've built this life. They put forth this image, these pictures and stuff that looks photoshopped in a metaphorical sense. They might use Photoshop, they might not, but it's like, everything is like curated. They put their best foot forward. It looks like, you know, everything is so happy. It's so uncanny valley, you know, it's like human adjacent, you know, it looks like maybe there's a lived human experience here, but also like there's a possibility that there's not, like, you know, that this is very robotic, or that it's very, and this person feels like somewhat of shame about that. And I think they're also realizing that doing that has also harmed people, like just people observing that who are going through real things. It's made other people feel locked and sealed in their bubble, that they can't open up and say, yo, I'm depressed, like, or I'm trying and I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, or I'm not getting anywhere, or I just want to give up. Like, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not a slob or anything. I just like, this is so useless, you know, or like, I can never get this right. Or like, I have a chronic illness. I'm constantly tired. Like, you know, like whatever it is, like. And so this person feels like kind of sad about that, but they also feel scared because this is kind of like an armor that they've built up around themselves, but they're somehow being forced to admit or look at the way, I think they thought that was just affecting nobody but them, but actually it affects everyone. We're a social species, and this person seems like a very social person. Like they're kind of constantly out, with other people and like rubbing elbows with other people, or they're thinking about that in the past. Because I actually think that this person is going through a more like introspective cycle. Very, I mean, I hate to call it hermit mode because not everybody can hit a hermit mode. You can spend time alone, but that doesn't mean that you can hit a hermit mode, and this person, I think this is kind of like very foreign, or it's like very uncomfortable, but I actually think this person's kind of good at this, or they could be good at this, or they could find like a comfort in themselves, and that would provide a foundation or a platform. This person is wanting to change. They are withdrawing their energy. They were very defensive here. Okay, so something is like about Two of Cups. So something here, I feel like this person, they might be very sad about like their silence, about that they kept their silence. And that could be, so it's something to do with Two of Cups, the Lovers, and the Empress. Are you kidding? So for some, like this is a person who felt that way about you. Maybe they were in like another relationship or something. This person just needed to be honest with you about something, but they like kind of kept that a secret. Maybe they used this toxic group to keep that secret. Yeah. Or to hide their feelings as well. The kinds of people that they were around. But it also could be that, like, say this is a friend or something, they could have known that somebody here, like, was in another relationship or something. This person feels like they could have made something known to you. They also feel like you're their soulmate. Even if, like, it's not a romantic soulmate. This is like, no, you're my soulmate. And I should be able to have my soulmate's back here. But instead, I was sneaking around behind their back, cavorting with their enemies, stoking the fire. And I think this person thought that, well, I'm just playing a passive role. But all that is necessary for evil to persist in the world is for good men to do nothing. And I feel like that's what this person's realizing, man or woman, that's what they're realizing, is that like just their passivity feeds something here. Not standing up when they're called to feeds something here. Yeah. And just like the mundanity of evil, I think this person, like the absolute banality of evil, I feel like that's kind of what they're realizing, because something here just kind of like cycles. I keep hearing that song by Camila Cabello. I'm just looking for some real friends. Where's everybody hiding out? And they're like, well, I had a real friend here, but it's kind of useless. Maybe that's why this person's hermit mode. They're like, well, it's kind of useless to send me a real friend if I'm not going to make sure that they're safe, at the very least, emotionally safe. If I'm not going to be honest, if I can't even tell them like, yo, some people were like talking mad shit about you and they never paint you in a good light, even though you're clearly a good person. Like, no. Why? Like that you have to be able to tend like a friendship, and this person like won't or can't, they just only want to tend the toxic ones. Because the toxic people, I've noticed this, the toxic people, in order to like, they always have to they want to get people with their program so that they're like not challenged. So a lot of the toxic people are like, they initiate, like a lot of them like will just initiate or something. And I feel like this person is kind of more passive. They like wait for things to happen to them, and they just kind of wait for the good things to come in. But the bad things are always kind of coming in because they want to have like dominance or control. And then it runs the good things out. And so this person's, I think there's something about like piecing together. How does this cycle get held together? And what is your part of it? And how can you kind of snap out of it? Or how can you break it? Or how can you change and become something new? Because this person's going to have to leave this toxic group. I mean, everybody will have to. One by one. Yeah, but they have to like learn some life lessons, and they have to learn something about energy vampires here, which I think that they're surrounded by. And it's also connected with inner strength. There's a lot of solar plexus chakra here. Like this person needs to kind of find their confidence, and then in finding, I'm hearing like they have to find their confidence, but they have to find their personal expression. And it's like kind of a chicken or the egg thing, like which one comes first? Because if you have a personal expression, you have to be confident enough to just always put it out there, or put it out there. Like, I'm not talking about like being stupid, but like, just to be able to live it. You have to have confidence in order to have a personal expression. And this person's kind of realizing that, because I think this person was like, oh yeah, I have a personal expression, and it's just, I'm happy, happy, joy, joy all the time. And I'm not trying to point fingers here, because I can relate to this like so hard, especially like in my young adulthood. I feel like, yeah, this was me. I thought, oh, I'm just happy. That's just the person that I am. And then I started to realize there's more to me than that. And I actually have a lot of emotions that I just feel like even if I wanted to express them, I couldn't express them. And then I had to kind of unpack, well, why is that? And part of that was the people that I was around. I knew that their reactions would be a certain way. And so I realized I kind of was stunting and blunting myself like on the inside, because nobody would care, or no, I knew that people were going to react a certain way. So it's almost like I would just kind of shut down my own like inquiry and exploration, until I got betrayed. And then I didn't want to hang out with people. And then that's when I went internal. And then from there, I went on a little adventure, and I feel like maybe this person, maybe that's their route, but I'm seeing their adventures like going right through their solar plexus. Like it's follow the yellow brick road. I just heard like, cause yellow is the color of the solar plexus. Follow the yellow brick road, follow. And that's very like hero's journey, right? Cause you meet friends and you go through the woods and you go through everything. So I feel like, yeah, this person is following the yellow brick road to their solar plexus, and to having confident enough to express their opinions and their emotions. And that's what they are working on now in order to be able to follow you. And I feel like this is kind of energetically, but in other ways too. So yeah, this person is coming through. They're feeling really sad, damper. It really put a damper on things. And it's because the truth, they've seen the truth. And I just feel like once you see the truth, like, I don't think that this person I think they're mustering that they're fine, because they have this kind of like jovial personality. They kind of know that if they were to be sad, the way that they feel on the inside, people would ask questions and stuff. So this is kind of like a self-defensive thing, but they've seen the truth. Yeah, they've seen the truth here, and they can't unsee it. So this is going to set off a chain reaction for this person, however long or short it takes to play out. They can't really go back. I feel like this is very similar to you. It would be like putting on wet clothes again that you've already taken off to like kind of go back. I don't really think this person's realizing like, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of like friends, I guess. That's a word I refuse to use correctly. I have a lot of people that are around, and I have the level of chemistry that I could have with somebody working the cash register at Costco right now. That's the level of chemistry this person has with the people that they call their friends. So consider that they are acquaintances. Like, I am acquainted with this person. I know this person, but they're not friends. And you should be embarrassed to have friends like this. You wouldn't want to be associated with some of these people in the same sentence, So if you're healthy, and I think this person's like kind of starting to get healthy. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.